What is the heaviest three-letter word in the English language? We might think of words like war, or lie, or end. But for so many women, the heaviest word, the one that costs them the most, is the simple and often devastating word, yes. Not the yes of joyful, wholehearted agreement, not the yes that springs from a place of authentic desire and expansive possibility, but the yes of obligation, the yes of fear, the yes that is a quiet betrayal of the self. It is the yes you say to a request that makes your stomach tighten, the yes you offer to a commitment your soul has no energy for. It is the yes you give to a man when your intuition is screaming no. Every time you speak this inauthentic yes, you are taking out a small loan against your own life force, a debt that will be repaid with the high interest of your own resentment and exhaustion. We have been taught that being a good woman means our yes must be easy, abundant, and constantly available. We have been conditioned to believe that a no is an act of aggression, a sign of selfishness, a risk that will lead to us being seen as difficult and ultimately to being rejected. And so we learn to fear our own truth. We become masters of accommodation, contorting the shape of our own lives to fit the needs and desires of others, all while a quiet, bitter poison seeps into our own well. But what if this is a profound lie? What if the path to a truly powerful and authentic yes, the yes that comes from your soul, is paved with the courage of a clean, honest, and unapologetic no? What if your no is not a weapon of rejection, but the most sacred tool of self-love you will ever possess? This video is a masterclass in learning to speak that powerful word. We will not teach you how to be selfish or unkind. We will teach you the art of saying no without the heavy chains of guilt that have held you captive, and without the exhausting need to provide a long, defensive explanation. You will learn that a sovereign no is one of the most respectable and magnetic qualities a woman can possess. This is the journey of transforming your most feared word into your most powerful tool of freedom. To master the art of saying no, we must first, with great compassion, understand why it feels so profoundly dangerous. The paralyzing guilt and anxiety that arise when you even consider saying no are not a sign of a character flaw. They are the symptoms of a deep and ancient psychological conditioning. This is a trauma response, a survival mechanism you learned as a child. For a child, attachment to a caregiver is not an emotional preference. It is a matter of life and death. Our survival is entirely dependent on maintaining this bond, and we, as intelligent survival machines, will learn to do whatever it takes to ensure that bond is not threatened. For many of us, especially as young girls, we learned a simple but powerful equation. Agreeableness equals safety. Disagreement equals the threat of abandonment. This is the birth of the good girl. It is the activation of the orphan archetype. The orphan is the part of our psyche that carries the core wound of feeling that we do not inherently belong. Its greatest terror is being cast out. Its primary survival strategy is to make itself as useful, as pleasing, and as unobtrusive as possible to earn its place in the tribe. Think of the orphan as a refugee in the kingdom of the family. A refugee does not make demands. A refugee does not have boundaries. A refugee is so grateful to simply have a place to stay that they will do anything to not be a burden, lest they be cast out into the cold once again. When your mother asked you to do something you didn't want to do, and your authentic no was met with her disappointment, her anger, or the withdrawal of her love, the little refugee inside you learned a critical lesson. My no threatens my survival. Your nervous system created a powerful association. Saying no equals the danger of abandonment, which to a child feels like death. Now, as an adult, this old, outdated software is still running in the background of your psyche. Your conscious adult mind knows that saying no to a friend's request for a favor will not kill you, but your nervous system, your inner orphan, does not. When you are faced with a situation that requires a no, this ancient alarm bell begins to ring. The feeling you label as guilt is in fact the echo of that primal fear. It is the terror of the inner refugee screaming, "Don't do it. They will leave you. You will be alone." And so, to silence that terrifying alarm, you say yes. You say the forced yes, the inauthentic yes, and for a moment you feel a sense of relief. The alarm stops ringing. You have successfully avoided the perceived threat. You have survived, but you have also, in that moment, betrayed yourself. You have honored the fear of a ghost from your past instead of the truth of the woman you are today. The first step in learning to say no is to understand, with profound compassion, that the guilt you feel is not a verdict on your character. It is simply an echo of an old and now false fear. The forced yes spoken from the fear of the orphan may feel like a successful act of survival in the moment. You have avoided the conflict. You have made the other person happy. The ancient alarm bell of abandonment is silenced, but the relief is temporary, and the long-term cost of this self-betrayal is devastating. Building a life on a foundation of inauthentic agreement is like building a beautiful house with rotten wood. On the surface, it may look stable for a while, but it is a structure that is doomed to collapse. The first cost, and the one that will most profoundly poison your own inner world, is resentment. Every single time you say yes when your soul means no, you are planting a small bitter seed in the garden of your own heart. At first, you may not notice it, but these seeds, watered by your continued self-abandonment, will grow. They will grow into a thick, thorny bush of resentment that chokes out all the flowers of your joy, your generosity, and your love. This is the poison you drink, hoping the other person will be harmed by it. You will begin to feel a low-grade, constant irritation with the very people you are trying so desperately to please. Their presence will start to feel draining. Their requests will feel like an assault. You may not express this anger directly, but it will leak out in the form of passive aggression, of sarcasm, of a cold and distant energy. You are angry at them for asking, but on a deeper level, you are furious with yourself for not having the courage to say no. The second cost is the annihilation of trust. This is a profound paradox. You say yes to be seen as reliable and agreeable, but you are, in fact, making yourself completely untrustworthy. When you say yes with your mouth, but your body, your energy, and your soul are screaming no, you're in a state of profound incongruence. And other people can feel this. A man may not consciously know that your yes was inauthentic, but he will feel the subtle coldness in your energy. He will feel the resentment that simmers just beneath the surface of your smile. He will be confused when, days later, you are irritable and distant about something you supposedly agreed to. He learns on an unconscious level that your words cannot be trusted. He learns that your yes might not actually mean yes. This creates a foundation of instability and confusion, a feeling that he is always walking on eggshells around you, never knowing what your true feelings are. A man cannot build a solid future on the shaky ground of an inauthentic partner. The third and most devastating cost is the destruction of attraction. As we have discussed, a man of substance is not attracted to a woman who is a people pleaser. He is attracted to a woman who is a sovereign. Your inability to say no is the loudest possible signal that you do not respect your own time, your own energy, or your own inner truth. And if you do not respect yourself, it is impossible for him to truly respect you. A woman with no boundaries is not a safe harbor. She is a public park, open to everyone, with no sacred private ground. There is no mystery, there is no challenge, there is no sense of a precious and well-guarded inner world that he must earn the privilege to enter. By making yourself endlessly available, you have, with the best of intentions, made yourself common. And the human heart, in its strange and beautiful mystery, does not fall in love with that which is common. It falls in love with that which is rare, precious, and knows its own profound and unshakable worth. Now that we understand the danger of the forced yes and the high cost of resentment, we arrive at the heart of the alchemy. This is the profound internal shift that will dissolve the guilt and fear that has held you captive for so long. It is the sacred reframe that will transform your relationship with the word no forever. The reframe is this: your no to another person is not an act of rejection. It is a profound and necessary act of devotion to yourself. The good girl, the orphan, is always facing outward. When she is about to say no, her entire focus is on the other person's potential reaction. Will they be disappointed? Will they be angry? Will they leave? Her decision is based on managing their external world. The sovereign woman, the queen, is facing inward. When she is about to say no, her focus is on her own inner alignment. She is not asking, "What will they think?" She is asking, what is true for me? To embody this, you must begin to see your life force not as an infinite resource to be given away, but as a sacred and finite well. The water in this well is your time, your energy, your creativity, your peace. It is the most precious resource you own. Every inauthentic yes you have ever spoken has been the act of taking a full heavy bucket of this sacred water and pouring it onto the desert sand simply to appease a thirsty passerby. And you have been left, at the end of the day, with a well that is dangerously close to empty. The art of saying no is the art of becoming the wise and loving guardian of your own well. When a request is made of you, you will no longer immediately ask, what will happen if I say no? Instead, you will pause and you will ask yourself this: is this request worthy of a bucket of my sacred water? This question changes everything. It is not a selfish question. It is a sovereign one. It is an acknowledgement that your life force is a treasure, and it must be invested wisely, not given away carelessly. Suddenly, saying no is no longer an act of aggression or rejection against another. It is a sacred act of protection for yourself. You are not pushing them away. You are simply refusing to abandon your post as the guardian of your own well. You are not being mean. You are being a wise steward of the one life you have been given. This is the silent break with the chain of guilt. The guilt can only survive when you believe that your no is a selfish act. But when you reframe it as a sacred duty to your own soul, the guilt cannot find a foothold. You are no longer a bad person for setting a boundary. You have become a wise and powerful woman who understands that you cannot give water to anyone if your own well is dry. This is the profound and liberating truth that will allow you to finally speak your no, not with an apology, but with the quiet, unshakable peace of a woman who is finally devoted to herself. Once you have reframed your no as a sacred yes to yourself, you can begin to practice the art form of delivering it. A powerful no is a clean no. It is a boundary that is free of the mud of guilt, the static of anger, or the weakness of a long, apologetic explanation. The sovereign woman has three primary types of a clean no in her toolkit. She is a master artist, and these are her brushes. First, the simple no, the wall. This is the most direct and foundational form of a no. It is our sovereign statement. It is a calm, kind, and firm declaration of your reality with no justification attached. It is a solid stone wall, and its strength is in its simplicity. This is best used for simple, low-stakes requests from acquaintances, or in situations where you need to draw a very clear and unambiguous line. The phrases are simple. Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to do that. That doesn't work for me. Or the simplest and most powerful of all, a kind and calm no. The key to the simple no is the delivery. You must resist the urge to follow it up with a because. The moment you add an explanation, you have turned your wall into a door, and you have invited the other person to try and find a key. The simple no is a complete sentence. It is the practice of trusting that your truth is enough. Second, the bridge no, the gate with a window. This is a more nuanced and relational form of a no. It is designed for your most important connections, your partner, your close friends, your family. It is a technique that allows you to honor your own needs without damaging the bond. It is a no to the specific request, but a clear yes to the person and the relationship. It is not a wall. It is a beautiful gate with a window, allowing connection to still flow through. The formula is this: acknowledge their reality, plus state your clean no, plus offer a bridge. For example, your partner asks you to attend a social event, but you are feeling depleted and need a night alone. The old you might have said a weak yes and gone, feeling resentful. The bridge. No sounds like this: I know you were really looking forward to that event, the acknowledgement, but I don't have the social energy for it tonight, and I need to stay home to recharge, the clean no. How about we schedule a special date night for us, just the two of us this weekend? The bridge. You have honored your need for peace, but you have also affirmed the value of the relationship by offering an alternative point of connection. You have closed a specific gate, but you have opened a beautiful window. Third, the silent no, the invisible fence. This is the most advanced, most subtle, and most sovereign form of a no. It is the practice of not even needing to use the word. It is the understanding that not every request or every message deserves a response. It is the art of the sovereign pause. This is your tool for non-urgent text messages, for invitations into drama or gossip, and for any communication that does not require an immediate answer. The woman who has not mastered this feels a compulsive need to reply to every message instantly. The silent no is the practice of reclaiming your time and your attention. It is the act of seeing a non-urgent message and consciously deciding to answer it later, on your own time. It is the act of being in a group conversation that turns to gossip, and instead of participating, you simply remain quiet. This is not the aggressive, silent treatment. It is a quiet, powerful declaration that your attention is a precious resource that you, and only you, will choose how to spend. It is an invisible fence, and it communicates without a word the immense value of your own inner world. The great and terrifying fear that keeps women chained to the forced yes is the fear of rejection. We believe that if we say no, we will be seen as difficult, as unloving, and that we will ultimately be abandoned. And now we arrive at the final, surprising, and profoundly liberating result of this practice. For a healthy, mature, and masculine man, your clean, sovereign no does not breed rejection. It breeds a deep and unshakable respect. A man of low character, a narcissist, or an emotionally immature boy may be angered by your boundary. He will see your no as a direct challenge to his ego and his sense of entitlement. And in this, your no has served as a perfect and efficient filter, revealing his true character and saving you from a future of pain. But a man of substance, a man who is secure in his own being, is not threatened by your boundary. He is attracted to it. Your ability to say a calm and respectful no is a powerful signal of your own high self-worth. It tells him, on a level deeper than words, that you are a woman of integrity. It shows him that you are the guardian of your own kingdom, that you value your own peace, and that your life is not a public space but a sacred territory. And this has a paradoxical and powerful effect on the value of your yes. Think of a woman who always says yes. She is like a shop that gives everything away for free. People may come and take her goods, but they do not truly value them. Because they cost nothing, they are perceived as being worth nothing. Her yes is a worthless currency because it is given to everyone for everything without discernment. The woman who has mastered the art of the clean no is a high-end exclusive boutique. Not everyone is granted access. Her time, her energy, and her attention are precious and well-guarded resources. Therefore, when she does choose to give her yes, it is not a worthless coin. It is a rare and precious diamond. When she says yes to a date with him, he knows it is a real yes. He knows she is not just saying it out of obligation or a fear of being alone, because he has seen that she is perfectly capable of saying no. He knows that she has consciously chosen to spend her precious time, her sacred water, with him. And this makes him feel not just liked but truly chosen. And for the masculine soul, the feeling of being truly chosen by a discerning, high-value woman is one of the most powerful and addictive feelings in the world. Your no does not diminish his attraction, it amplifies it. It is the dark velvet upon which the diamond of your yes is displayed. It is the wall around your sacred garden that makes the invitation to enter it a true and profound honor. The fear that your no will push him away is the lie of the orphan. The truth of the queen is that her wise and sovereign no is the very thing that makes her yes the most valuable prize of all. We began this journey with the heavy weight of a single inauthentic word, the forced yes. We have traveled through the psychological roots of our fear of no, we have witnessed the destructive cost of people-pleasing, and we have learned the three forms of a clean, sovereign boundary. And we arrive at this final, liberating truth. The art of saying no to others is, and has always been, the sacred art of saying a profound and unwavering yes to yourself. It is a yes to your own peace, a yes to your own energy, a yes to the value of your own time, a yes to the truth of your own soul. For a lifetime, you may have feared that your no was a weapon of rejection, a cold wall that would keep love out. But now, you understand the truth. Your no is not a weapon. It is the gentle but firm gatekeeper of your sacred inner garden. Learn to use this word not with anger or apology, but with a deep and abiding love for yourself. For when you do, you will discover its final beautiful magic. A clean no does not close the door to the right people. It simply ensures that the wrong people can no longer enter. It builds a beautiful, strong, and sacred gate. A gate that the right man, the one who respects your sovereignty and is captivated by the beauty of your well-tended garden, will see not as a barrier, but as an honor to be invited through.